Hey everybody, so today I want to talk about options a little bit, and what I'm about to tell you is probably not very good advice. So when it comes to options, I actually don't really look at theta that much. I don't look at delta, I don't look at volatility. I literally just buy calls or I buy puts. I look at support lines, I look at resistance lines, and as far as theta goes, I really just buy calls or puts a few weeks out just to avoid the immediate harm of theta. And I usually like to buy in the money or at the money. I generally don't go out of the money. So I just kind of want to start with Apple here. Now, what I wanted to point out, first things first, I'm going to go on this 5-day chart. And there's a very clear trend. So I drew this trend line right here. Now I go back to this 1 day, and I pay a lot of attention to the 1 day because now I have this trend line from the 5 day. So I'm looking at this 1 day right here, and I'm just going to introduce the moving averages. So this is kind of where we started the day right here. So we just rallied, and then you can see we followed this trend line I drew right here, and then we sold off, and then we rallied again. But notice right here, we are above this 5 day trend line. So to me, this was definitely a signal to probably sell, take profits if you got calls, or probably get puts right around here. And then you can see us selling off again. Now we revisit this 5 day trend line, and then you see I'm going to zoom in right here. I'm actually going to take out these moving averages. You see we sell off, and then this is the interesting thing. You see this one last touch right here before this flood of selling. So now this is what happens. We have this trend line that I drew earlier that was depicting the earlier price action before this gap up. And then you can see when we broke that line right there, just had this massive sell-off right here. And you can see that this is also, this is kind of like this support level. You can see this is where we gapped up in the pre-market. So once we broke through this level, there's a pretty serious gap up. So I drew this line right here. You can see how this is kind of acting as a resistance. So right here, right here. So at this point, we had this massive sell-off. I don't really feel like getting puts anytime right here or right here because I don't know if we're gonna, retest, make like a triple top. I just don't know. So there's a little bit more risk here. Like I don't want to be getting puts here. So now, right around here, we're gonna see that Apple is probably close to around 2% down on the day. So now I might be thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe I want to swing some Apple calls. So when I'm looking at this trend line right here, and I see that price action is starting to settle down right here, I'm thinking about looking to enter calls. So I'm just going to draw this moving average again. So now I see that this 20-day moving average on the day chart is kind of flattening out. When I zoom out a bit, I start seeing this parabola build out. It's like the base of a parabola. And I can see that this wedge is playing out. So you can see we're staying true to this line right here. We're rejecting each time. It's very apparent right here. So what I want to see is I want to see us getting closer to the end of the wedge, which is right here. And I actually want to see us make like a knee-jerk reaction, fall underneath this trend line that I drew right here. And at this point, if you're buying calls right around here, right at this short-term support line, then what ends up happening is you're paying more premium. So what's better is waiting for the selling to pick up a little bit. And then what you'll see is that a lot of stop losses will get triggered for short term. You'll see this knee-jerk reaction of selling. And then at that point, you could buy your calls like maybe $30 cheaper if you're getting at the money 2 weeks or 3 weeks out. So you're going to get like a good discount once that support line breaks. So if you buy right here, then Apple would probably be like a little bit over 2%. And then you'll just feel a little bit more comfortable holding, knowing that Apple is down that much. So now we get towards the end of this wedge right here. And then you see that we sold off one more time. And then now you see this double bottom. And then the pre-market actually gave us a hint. So when you zoom out, you see us moving all the way down here. And look where we bottomed out for the day. We bottomed out right here at 162.11. So right here would have been a pretty good time to buy. Either right there, or right there. So triple bottom. And then if we're including the pre-market, that's like a quad bottom. So now we're finally flattening out right here. And then you see us starting to rally. And then we have this massive rally. So now I'm going to introduce the moving averages again. So now we see this 20-day curling. It's getting above that 50-day. And then it's just going uphill right here. So now this is where you would want to sell. So now you see us getting above this 5-day trend line. Now to me, this is overbought right here. And you can see on the RSI, we're overbought. We're overbought, we're above that 5-day trend line. So that's telling me, well, if I bought calls down here, I want to trim at least. I want to trim or I want to get out. And then you can see we're falling again. You can see there's this bull trap right here. We sell off, and you can see this moving averages are starting to curl down. And then now we're actually cutting underneath the 50 right there. You can see that. And then now we're just curling down. And hey, guess what? That 5-day trend line, reject again. And then now we're getting closer to the end of the day. Do I really want to get calls? Well, not really, because we're getting closer to the end of the day. It's a Friday. I don't want to stress about holding calls with all this crap in Russia going on, or Russia, Ukraine, or whatever. So that's basically the day. I bought calls right here, and then I sold them right there. So I hope this helped you guys, and enjoy.